All right, so the Rangers win 4-1 over the Minnesota Wild, and that was insanity tonight. And I'm very, very happy with what I saw. I'm very happy, and that building couldn't be any more fun to be in and electric in terms of just the love for Louis Domingue. It's funny, but it's also just awesome, and it's great for Louis Domingue to watch him come into the net, and he comes in and he was very close to getting a shutout. He easily could have, and this was a game where he could have got shut out. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The goal that was against, I'm not even that mad at him for. It's a deflection goal. There was not much he could do. He made huge, huge saves in this game, and the entire crowd, Louis, the entire night, every time the guy made a save, it was so fun to be in that building. You have I don't know. Vinny Trocheck, who might be the most underappreciated player on this hockey team at this point. You have your first overall pick playing like a first overall pick the last week or two here, and he's heating up, getting points. Let's see if this could be a consistent thing, because if it is, and Lafreniere is the truth now, that's going to go a freaking long way with this team. And then you have Artemi Panarin just casually putting up another point tonight. No big deal. It's just another day at the office for that guy. Blake Wheeler netting his first. There was so much to love, except for maybe one thing. I have two complaints. I have two complaints. We'll talk about it. Before we do, leave a like on the stream if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. But let's jump into the action here, because there is so much to talk about. That first period was fantastic. That first period was pretty much what we saw in Minnesota, right? Except for the fact that they didn't score 3 goals. I thought they looked a little less crisp in terms of how much they're flying through the neutral zone in that first period compared to how it went in Minnesota. But they still, don't get it twisted, they still looked very good. The Wild press at the start of the game for a bit. Louis Domingue makes his first save. The crowd is into it already with them. Kreider almost gets one in, coming the other way. That got denied. The second line, though, comes out. They have a great shift. And yeah, it pays off. Their next shift, I think this was, as Eric Gustafsson, the Gus bus keeps rolling as he keeps the puck in the offensive zone, and Lafreniere with a beautiful pass to Trocheck. And who the hell is this Vinny Trocheck, and why is he sniping the puck like this? I don't know, but I'm not going to complain. I'm here for it. I'm not complaining. That's one thing. This is one thing, because I'm going to rant about Mika Zibanejad later, because I don't think it's a secret at this point that he's pissing all of us off. We got to give love to Vinny Trocheck right now. He's really picking up the load while Mika Zibanejad is not playing good hockey at all. But we'll talk more about that. The first line goes out. They have a pretty solid shift. Jones has a nice play in the neutral zone too. That's pretty much the extent of it with Jones, by the way, tonight. The Jones experiment needs to end. We'll talk about him too later on. But Bonino makes some nice plays in the D zone. Miller pushing guys out of the crease. How about Keandre Miller all night? Have we seen Keandre Miller throw this much body ever? Have we? He was throwing bod all night, and I don't know if we've seen this from Keandre Miller ever. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I also love the coaching decision by Laviolette. You got a D-zone face-off. Let's throw Nick Bonino out there. I like that decision there. And then Lindgren almost tips one in, crashing the net with Bonino. Ryan Lindgren, for whatever reason, was noticeable in the offensive zone in this game. But the refs miss a cross-check afterwards. But the second line, yet again, another good shift as they almost score in transition. Lafreniere, he tries to go to Trocheck, but not a good enough pass on that one. Lafreniere, I love you, but you got to shoot the puck there. I want him to be selfish every now and then. I want to see him just rip the puck. Just rip the puck. The second line going out there dominating. Goudreau and Dumaine dropped the gloves for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure, but Coley then great back check play. Will Coley was very noticeable in this game yet again, and he makes a unbelievable back check to stop what would have been an odd man rush, and then Keandre Miller just throws body again. Mika almost tips a goal in, and things were getting chippy out there. That's what happens when the schedule is as stupid as it is, and the Rangers have to play the Wild twice in what, the span of a week. So ridiculous. But Wheeler had a nice hustle on the rush to Jones, and then Jones, for whatever reason, instead of shooting it in the slot, tries to give it to Kreider, but he couldn't end up getting the pass. Kako, what's going on? It was almost tipped in by Coley and Bonino, but that first period was very good. Very good. Minnesota had 2 shots on goal. Two. One of those shots was very early in the first period. The Rangers played such a dominant first period. They had 5 high danger chances. I loved what we saw from that first period. There was a lot to love. The offense was going. The forecheck, there's an argument that that was the best we've seen this team forecheck all season long in that first period. The forecheck was active, and they were throwing hard. Like, they were getting physical and not afraid to go on the boards. They were playing a strong North game. The back checking was great. The neutral zone play was great. They were making beautiful breakout plays. But here was my problem. I had one request after that period for how good it was. Do not let Minnesota adjust, and do not let them get anywhere into it. Then you get to where one of my problems was in this game. The second period was not good. It wasn't. There's really no way around it, and pretty much a carbon copy paste of the game in Minnesota with this second period. Minnesota presses early. Boldy and Kaprizov had looks in front. I think it was both of them, but I don't remember. I'm at the game. It's hard to keep track of everything, but Louis Domingue making saves. The fourth line for the Wild, for whatever reason, gave the Rangers such a big fit in this game, and that line was Maroon, Eriksson, Ek, and who was it? It was Maroon, Eriksson, Ek, and Foligno. That line gave the Rangers fits at times. Like, they were having a hard time against that line. That forecheck by that line, credit to them, but the Rangers had to clean that up and be better. Domingue has a stop on Boldy. Gustafsson couldn't break it out. Minnesota was all over the Rangers. There was very, like, the execution on the breakouts in their own end were horrendous in the second period. The neutral zone play was horrendous too. And I felt like they were trying to force too much east-west versus what we saw in the first period where they were doing so good offensively. And it's just play that game where you're going north, where you're getting in on the forecheck, then you cycle the puck, you throw the puck on goal, get the chances that you need to. This is what annoys me, is that it's just the fact that we see them play so dominant in periods, and then they take their foot off the gas. And I know that I can't expect a full 60 every night, and that I can't expect them to go 82-0, but you need to at least show me a little, like, you need to at least be able to break the puck out of your own end. It was just unacceptable. Domingue was getting tested way too much. He made another big save on Kaprizov. Trouba then takes a lazy penalty as he trips Rossi behind the net. And the Rangers came up big on that penalty kill too. Domingue had a nice save on Zuccarello. And then Trocheck misses the net on a breakaway because, for whatever reason, the Rangers do not know how to hit the net when they're on a breakaway. But yeah, that was a great kill. Trouba almost got a chance out of the box with Ryan Lindgren. Did not have that on the bingo card for this season, but I digress. And then afterwards, Minnesota ties the game up at 1 as Faber threw one on goal and Jermaine tips it in. Hartman with the assist. So again, just ugly. It was bound to happen that Minnesota was going to get a goal. You take a lazy penalty. You're not executing the breakout passes. It was bound to happen that Minnesota was going to score. The fourth line, again, giving them fits. Domingue continued to get tested. He made another save on Rossi. made more big saves at the end of the period. And the Rangers had a little bit of a late push. Gustafsson had some nice chances. I think the first line was out there too a bit for that, and the second line. But that period, they just got away from a lot of what they did in the first period. The forecheck definitely was not as strong. I thought, like I said, they tried to go east west way too much. But it doesn't help that we couldn't even see the forecheck that much because they struggled to get through the neutral zone. They struggled to break the puck out. But I will give the Rangers credit. This is where you got to give Laviolette and the coaching staff a lot of credit, and you got to love it. As bad as they were that period, shots were 15-3. They had 4 high danger chances against, which is not great, but you'll take it considering how much Minnesota got that period. You take that. But the thing that mattered most is the Rangers adjusting and coming out in the third period, playing better. They did. They did. They did. They found an answer to what Minnesota was doing. And that's something where if this was Gerard Gallant coaching, the team would have folded and they would have lost this game. They would not have won this game under Gerard Gallant because that third period made the difference. Were they electric in that first period? Was that one of the better periods? No, but they found an answer. They made an adjustment. They improved their breakouts. They started to break through the neutral zone. They reestablished the forecheck, and you got a lot better of an effort in that period. And it paid off early in the period too, as the Rangers make it 2-1. As the Rangers come out buzzing that period, they get some chances from VC. Kreider had a chance too. And then the second line. What more can we say about this second line? Because they are one of the best lines in the game right now. And yeah, Trocheck makes another good play, sets it up to Panarin. Odd man rush comes the other way, and the Rangers thrive and score off the odd man rush as Panarin gives it over to Lafreniere to make it a 2-1 game. And if you're keeping track at home, that was Lafreniere's second point of the night. He wouldn't be done, by the way, spoiler alert, but Lafreniere, he was that third period. If you're going to highlight a player for that third period alone, Lafreniere, he was all over the place. Don't get me wrong, he was great all night, but that third period, he was throwing pucks on net like whenever he got a chance. Him and Panarin out there look so good together. They look so good together. And it's just like, where has this been for so long with Lafreniere? And Panarin too, you could argue. Like Panarin the past 2 seasons was not making plays like this. He wasn't. But yeah, Panarin threw one on goal too. The puck was loose in the crease. No one's able to tap it in, but Hartman almost tapped one in front after the Wild got some looks because Miller had a pretty bad turnover. That was pretty much the only mistake Miller made, thankfully, in this game. But Wheeler, nice play in the D zone, almost led to Kreider getting a breakaway, but he was gassed. Kakko holds the puck and doing what we expect him to, but he sets up Bonino in front. I don't think Bonino was expecting the pass because he shot that a bit late. Could have been a goal there, but fourth line goes out there, makes some big blocks. Pitlick gets tripped, no call. But Eriksson Ek does go off for tripping a little after, so the Rangers get a huge power play. And it looked ugly at first. They were not even able to break out of their own end there. Domingue had to make a save shorthanded, but yeah, Lafreniere throws one on net. Coley tips it. It doesn't go through, but a rebound's loose. And Blake Wheeler makes it 3-1, tapping in the rebound. Good for Blake Wheeler. Good for Blake Wheeler. I can't say that enough. I know that I've been ripping on him, and I know that people are going to say that I'm like the CEO of bashing Blake Wheeler. It's not that I hate him as a person. I just have not seen enough in his game, and good for him. Good for him. And you know what? That first line was not great. Blake Wheeler was definitely the best part of that first line tonight. Blake Wheeler was actually very noticeable to me tonight. I think he underratedly / quietly had, or maybe his best game as a Ranger. And I'm not just saying that because he got on the score sheet. Like I noticed Wheeler actually like moving his feet at times too on shifts. And it was like, where has this been all year? Where has this been all year? And hopefully that's the monkey off the back that he needs. I'm very pleased with that. And then Louis Domingue makes his biggest save of the night on Zuccarello, who was in front of the net alone. Jacob Trouba, you can't puck watch there. You just can't. But Louis Domingue makes a save. Kaprizov then hits the post on a chance. Panarin would bury the empty netter from Trocheck and Trouba. And that is all she wrote. The Rangers would win this hockey game. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very, very pleased with this one. Rangers outshot the Wild 28-27. The thing that really stands out to me is the high danger chances at 5v5 were 10-6 in favor of the Rangers. The Rangers allowed 4 5v5 high danger chances in the second period, and they allowed 6 high danger chances all night at 5v5. Imagine they had just a decent second period. We're talking about a shutout here, but you still take the win. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just so glad that we have a coach here that could make adjustments because that third period was so much better. It was so much better. But I'm just very happy with what we got in that effort there. And the expected goals went in the Rangers' favor at 5v5 on the power play too, or in all situations, I should say. But yeah, granted, there wasn't a lot of penalties in this game. There was one on each side, which was interesting. And don't get it twisted too. Fleury made some good saves in this game. Fleury did make some good saves, but I think that we're all in agreement that the second line was the best line for the Rangers tonight, right? The chart, back it up. He was great. Keandre Miller continues to be unbelievable. Eric Gustafsson, the Gus bus doesn't stop rolling. Trouba was great. I mean, everyone on the blue line was great except for Jones, maybe, and Schneider didn't stand out, but it's not like he had a horrendous game. He was kind of eh. But Zach Jones, that experiment needs to end. Sorry, still battling a cold here as I'm coughing, but the Zach Jones experiment needs to end. He cannot, he can't play. But you know what? It is what it is that we're complaining about a seventh defenseman right now. I would rather be complaining about a seventh defenseman than complaining about two guys on the first line. Oh, wait, we have to complain about two guys on the first line? Yeah, Kreider and Zibanejad were ghosts. They arrived for Halloween a little late, although they haven't been that productive 5v5. But regardless, when the Rangers did not have a lot of power plays in this game, you unfortunately noticed how much Kreider and Zibanejad were non-factors in this game. They were easily the Rangers' worst two forwards and maybe even players tonight. It's concerning. And as good as there is, and as much as it's great they're still winning, I want to see the first line get going. And like I said on Twitter, maybe splitting them up is the move because, and I said it in the preseason, I said it before in the offseason too, that I felt splitting those guys up would be for the better. Like, imagine you have a third line of Kreider with Keedle when he comes back, and then Coley playing on the right, maybe something like that. But I don't know what you do with the first line, so it's like it's a little complicated. But regardless, they need to split those two up. They're not doing enough. They're really not doing enough 5v5, and it's a problem. It's truly a problem, and they were on the ice for the most high danger chances against too at 5v5. So it's not even like they're making an impact in their own end. It's great that they're finding ways to win, and while they're battling adversity and while the first line's not clicking, and hopefully the first line can get clicking so then they could dominate teams. But still, you need to see the production soon 5v5 because this is just simply not good enough from two of your top players that are making 15 million combined. You need better. You need better. And I know people are going to say I'm being negative and that don't worry, they're still winning. But we can't act like it's sunshine and rainbows here with Kreider and Zibanejad. They're just not performing good enough right now, and I don't think it's a secret to a lot of these fans. I had fans sitting next to me that I could tell didn't know anything about hockey that were both infuriated by that second period and were infuriated by Zibanejad and Kreider all night. And it's like, I'm like, I know that they're not the best at 5v5. I know. And I could tell that they don't know a lot about hockey, but if even they were able to tell that it's not looking good with those two. But the rest of the team, very good effort from them. You want to burn the tape, like I said, on the second period, but hey, you know what? Know what? They're winning. They're winning. They have their 10th win, and they're battling adversity too and winning, which is what's making this more impressive. And I cannot believe I just saw in person with my own eyes at the Garden Louis Domingue play in goal for the Rangers in the regular season. Felt like I was at a preseason game watching him and Garon in warm-ups, but cannot believe I watched those two in the net and watch them thrive, or watch the Ming thrive, that is, and just crazy. And we might get it again on Sunday, which is even more crazy. I don't know if they're gonna go Garand. I don't know if they're gonna go Ming, but regardless, unbelievable, unbelievable. And again, you got to give credit to the Rangers defense too. They played good in front of him, but Louis Domingue, let's not act like he didn't make a lot of key saves. Do we have Laviolette quotes before I get to the chat? I do not know. Do not know. Let's see. Molly Walker. Vince doesn't. Molly Walker. Anything? Nope. Just the Louis Domingue. How about Johnny Lazarus, who has been killing it? And shout out to Johnny Lazarus, who has been a hero. And like I said a bit ago, he was part of the reason that Sea Jets was able to propose on the ice at the Garden. So we got to give love to Lazzy. He does great work. Let's get the chat and see what you guys have to say. Rocco, Dylan, what's going on? We dominate good teams. Yeah, I mean, the Wild are a okay team right now, but for a team that was potentially starting to heat up, definitely impressive. Yeah, if Zibanejad was getting points, his team would be unbelievable. Would be unstoppable. Yeah, definitely a huge response by them after that second period. It was much needed. Like, again, I say it again. They have to be able to adjust. And sure enough. Oh, yes. Get the spicy pork and broccoli for Louis Domingue. Get him the spicy pork and broccoli, because my guy deserves it after after that game. Louis Domingue. I'm gonna be dreaming about that guy tonight. That guy's gonna be I love him. I love him. All of a sudden I love him. I couldn't stand him 2 seasons ago. I couldn't stand the Louis chants. And then there I am at the Garden tonight screaming, Louis! Louis! All night. Good for the guy. Good for him. Yeah, Truba's been playing great. And yeah, the Louis Domingue chants were electric. It's electric. Sorry, I keep coughing. I can't help myself. Sorry, I just need to answer this text quickly. Just need To answer this. Anyway, let's see. Miller's throwing bodies because he's from Minnesota. Yeah, he's from Minnesota. Laffy sporting the Trocheck power stash. Yeah, he has been he's been something else with that mustache. I thought about I thought about joining the team with the mustache, but I don't want I can't pull that off. That's not my look. That's not my look at all. Believe me, I've messed around with it when I've shaved before. I have a photo of it too. It's not for me. It's not for me at all. I don't think you guys would watch my not that people want to watch my live streams. I rant, ramble, my voice is annoying. I get it. I read the comments from people that don't like me, but I don't think I'd be watchable at all if I had a mustache like that. I don't think Kako gets traded. I still think if Patrick Kane does end up coming back, and I know people are not going to be happy that we're bringing up Patrick Kane despite the team winning, but the comments are there, so I'm addressing it. Leave me alone. And it has to be addressed because we saw reports a lot earlier. Frank Saravelli on the Daily Faceoff live stream mentioned that it's looking like Kane's going to narrow his list down to 3 to 4 teams by next week, and then by another week from then, it's looking like he's probably going to pick a team. And he really emphasized that if he's going to go to a contender, it's probably going to be the Rangers. If he's going to go to a team where he wants the money, it's going to be Buffalo. So if he comes here, I'd imagine, like, I've always been in the belief that it's either going to be Wheeler or Pitlick getting waived. I would more be inclined to it and lean towards it being Pitlick, if I had to guess, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But I would love Showtime to fit in on this team somehow. Like, save that man a spot. Yeah, no 5v5 goals for Mika Zibanejad at 13 games in. That is almost 2 7-game playoff series. I don't want to hear it's a small sample size. Elite centers don't do this. It's hard that I can't disagree. It's bad that I can't disagree. And the thing that concerns me, holy crap, can't stop coughing. The thing that concerns me the most is we haven't seen Mika rip a lot of one-time goals too, even on the power play. Like, it's not been the traditional goals that we see from Mika Zibanejad. So there's definitely a lot to be concerned about him. Like, we can't act like there isn't right now. I'd love Patrick Kane on this team, Rocco. You know it. You know it. I hope that Mika will find his momentum, and I'm not ruling out that he can't, but it's hard to defend him now 13 games in with 0 5v5 goals, and it's not even like he's clicking on all cylinders with that one-timer on the power play to make up for it. That's part of the issue here. Yeah, they need to start playing a full 60, Matt. I agree. Louis Domingue is the GOAT. Couldn't agree more. I don't think Louis is going to be in net for a game against the Devils. Yeah, Trocheck was great in Carolina, which is part of why I wanted him too. And he does play good under an actual system, but I don't know, Vinny. I could be wrong, but was Trocheck sniping pucks like this in Carolina? So this is something else. Yeah, I agree. This team's below 500 with Gerard Gallant behind the bench. They definitely are. Oh, yeah. Godfather, this is not even a debate. This isn't even up for discussion. And I don't care if anyone calls me biased or says otherwise. It's the truth. If Laviolette was behind the bench in the playoffs last year, they smoked the Devils. It's not even a contest. Like, no, it's not even close. Yep, that's the main thing. They didn't completely collapse after that second period, where, like I said, if Gallant was here, they would have collapsed completely after that second period. Yeah, the Gus bus is rolling, and like I beat the drum in the offseason, how did the Rangers get him at that price when Klingberg sucks in his own end and is not even doing good for the Leafs right now? 4.1 million. Shane Gostisbehere, what, 4.1 also? I saw him play. I wasn't impressed when I saw him when Detroit came into town. Yeah, I agree that the fourth line is improving a bit at least. The fourth line is definitely more usable now than they were like a week ago. Like a week ago, you look at those numbers, you wanted to vomit. You wanted to vomit. Bobby, I can't give them the benefit of the doubt here that they're going against Minnesota's top players. A guy like Mika Zibanejad has to be one of the top players and be a difference maker. So I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt there. I'm sorry, I'm just not. And the first line was not good enough. Could it change? Sure. But tonight, they were not good enough. Benoit Allaire needs a statue making Domingue and Quick look good. Yeah. Yeah, the coaching staff is a breath of fresh air. I was saying it all off season. But people, all I got in the comments, retread, retread, retread. Spencer Carberry. Well, it was Patrick Waugh. Who was the other? Forgetting one other rookie coach, I think. Let's see. I'm not sure, Grossink. I'm hoping that this is the start of Wheeler becoming productive for the Rangers, but I'm not going to bank on it just because of the fact that he hasn't looked sharp all season. But you never know. I hope that this unlocks him because I want him to thrive. He's on he's on the Rangers, so it's not like I'm rooting against the guy. Um, no, Quinville was in. Oh yeah, Knobloch. That was it. I don't know how I forgot about Knobloch. He's in Hartford. Yeah, Knobloch. That's all I heard. John Cooper was a first time coach. Uh, Bednar was like that. That's all I heard. I can't agree with that. Gross saying Jones was not. He hasn't been great. At least in his own end. Like offensively, fine. Again, I said it last post game. Just let him play forward. Just put him back at forward. We need Showtime on Broadway. I agree. Huge team win. No Fox, no Igor, no Heedle, no Quick. No problem. Yeah. It's so nice. Like, how refreshing is it that we're on the side of being the team with a third string goalie getting the win? Feels refreshing that way. Not my cough. My cough is not refreshing. That is making me aggravated. Like, I'm pissed off. It hasn't gone away, and it's been a week now at this point. Like, come on. But I'm going to wrap the episode up here. There might be a podcast episode tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. I have to see what goes on. And it would depend what time and everything. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love all of you. And before I head out, let me check quickly if he's everybody right now. Go ahead. I'm going to put the link in chat to Big Apple Hockey's YouTube channel. Go into their chat and go spam Phil some love. Go send them. Go tell them that I sent you. Link is in the chat now. Go tell them I sent you guys. But yeah, let's go give them a little bit of a raid. Thank you guys so much for everything. I love you all. Leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers.